Hey guys, so I haven't done a kombucha video in quite some time, so today, and actually over the next 2 weeks when I do different batches, I'm going to show you guys 5 flavors of kombucha you gotta try. So the first one is strawberry basil. So I've got my strawberries here. When you're making your kombucha, I recommend using frozen fruit. I find that you get way more flavor out of it, it's a lot sweeter, and you're going to get a taste your kombucha from it. So strawberry basil. Strawberries that I pull out of the freezer, and I've got some fresh basil here that I've got picked from the garden this afternoon. So I'm just going to break the leaves off here, stick them with the strawberries here. And I've done this once before a few years ago, and I didn't have enough basil in, so I'm going to put a bit more than I had last time, just to get the flavors melding together. And what you want to do is find something to mash it with or muddle it with, just so you can get the flavors binding together there. Now I might get a fork, might be a little easier with a fork. Berries are still a bit frozen here. Even better, potato masher. I'm just gonna mash these guys here together nicely. Mound them up. And you want the pieces small enough that you can get them through the jar. I use a GT kombucha bottles that I've saved from previous purchases earlier on in my kombucha journey. There you go. So I'm just going to grab my Vitamix stick here and just get that basil mashed up nicely so it extracts the flavor. And this way, by muddling your basil, you want to extract the most flavors out of it that you can. And it smells amazing, the fresh basil with the strawberries. So good. Okay, there you go. So that's kind of what you want to have, just nice mashed together. So the next step is I'm going to take my little bit of a slurry here that I've made. I'm going to spoon them into my bottles. I pre-sanitize these with some vinegar. I put vinegar in here, put the lid on, shake it, let it sit for a few minutes, and then rinse it out quickly with a bit of water. So I'm just going to make sure I get a whole bunch of strawberries and basil together in there. You don't really need a whole lot, you just need a good, 2 or 3 tablespoons in the bottom. It's going to extract a lot of flavors. Might do a little bit more just because I got so much of it today. I'm doing 2 different flavors for you, so we'll load it up just to make sure we get tons of flavor from it. And one more, and then I'll do the next flavor. Okay, so the second flavor you really gotta try is raspberry vanilla. I'm going to use a real vanilla bean for this. So far with my kombucha, I have found that raspberry extracts the best flavor out of any of the fruits that I've used, and it's just amazing. I love vanilla, so I decided to try vanilla bean one day and add it to it, and it's just so good. So same thing, I'm just going to mash up the raspberries here quickly. And I'm using frozen raspberries as well because I find that they have this best flavor. When the fruits are frozen, the sweetness of the fruits get intensified, and when they unthaw, they're all locked into the fruits really nicely there. So I've got my jars here. So I've experimented with the vanilla bean. I tried like 1/4 of a bean and 1/2 a bean, and it's way too much. So the vanilla bean here, you're literally using like maybe 1/4 inch. You're just going to cut it off into the jars. And you can experiment yourself on how strong you want the vanilla. You can do less, you can do more, but so far I found that this is the best amount for my taste buds to make it the best for how I like to drink it. And if you've never used vanilla bean before, they're a little pricey. It was, I think, $11 for 2 beans, but they go a long way. They're super strong flavor in it, so you don't need a lot. A little bit goes quite a long way. So with the raspberry, I use a funnel to put it into, just because it's a bit more messy. Same thing, you don't need very much on the bottom, just enough. I usually try to do enough just to cover up to the first part of the label there. Okay, so there we go. We've got the fruit in there. I've got my kombucha here. It's all ready. It's been sitting for about a week, longer than a week, probably about 8-9 days. I haven't had time to get to it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the SCOBY off. It's been growing a lot the past few weeks because it's been really warm. And this one's really big in here. Kind of need to separate some of these guys. There we go. And what I like to do, I like to give it a bit of a stir, just to get all the bacteria, all the yeast and bacteria off the bottom, so it gets into each jar, so that you have a better second ferment. And when you're stirring your kombucha here, if you're stirring it and there's bubbles in it, that's a good sign. You know that you've got a good brew going. So I just use a small measuring cup here, just to fill them up. And I like to fill the jars just up to the bottom of the neck there, so it has a little bit of room for when it starts to do your second fermentation. You get the carbonation there, so you have a little bit of room for it to breathe a bit. So there we go, we've got the strawberry basil bottle up and the raspberry vanilla bottle up. All you gotta do now is pop your lids on. Nice sealed tight. And then depending on where you are and the temperature, for me in my house in the winter time, I gotta put these on the heat pad so they get their carbonation and going. It usually takes about 2 to 3 days. In the summertime, I usually don't use it as it's warm enough for it to activate the bacteria and the yeast in there to start the second fermentation, eating the fruit, the sugar of the fruit to do what it needs to do to carbonate. But right now it's still not 100% too warm, so I'm still going to use the heat pad for 3 days, and then I get my next batch on here, and I'll show you the next 2 flavors once this batch is ready. Okay, so the third flavor you need to try for your kombucha is apple, carrot, and ginger. So good. So I've got myself a juicer here, and I'm going to juice the stuff nice and fresh, so it's going to be ready in kombucha. So I like to do a few apples first. I like to put the ginger in as well so that you get all the ginger flavor out of it. So here we go. Okay, so there we go. I can really smell the ginger and the apple and carrots, really nice. So the juicer I'm using is a Breville. I actually got this gifted to me. I traded 2 liters of maple syrup and 12 butter tarts for it, so I think it's a great deal. But anyways, what I'll do too, I'll put a link in the description of where you can buy it on Amazon. I'm pretty sure they probably sell it there. I've just started doing affiliate links as well, so feel free to help me out, buy stuff, and I get a small bit of a kickback if you buy anything through my affiliate link, be it the juicer or anything else. So I've got my bottles set up here. I'll get them all ready and show you the next step. Okay, so I've got my kombucha here, my SCOBY. I'll pull that out. These separate them into separate jars. Are getting pretty big here. So I have found with this kombucha, or the carrot apple ginger, what you need to do first is to add your kombucha to your jar first. Otherwise, when you put the juice in first, it foams up over top, so you can't get the bottle full enough. So with a carrot apple ginger, I highly recommend putting the kombucha in the jar first, then your drink, or sorry, then your juice. So I find I like a lot of ginger in it, so you get a bit more of a ginger kick. So I'm probably just going to fill it up just to the top of the label with kombucha, and the rest with the juice. And you can play around too with how much juice to ratio of kombucha that you put in, according to your taste buds and how you like it. And every juice will be slightly different strength, so some juices you may need more, some you may need less. So I'll just top these 3 up for now, just give it a bit of a stir. Just gonna give a quick taste to see how strong it is. Yeah, lots of good ginger in there. This will be a strong kick. So even putting the kombucha in first, you're getting quite a bit of foam from the carrot. I wonder if I could just strain it too, see what happens. I'm gonna put a strainer over top and just strain out the pulp from the carrot juice. Let's see if it makes any difference. Okay, that's much better. Now I'm not getting all the foam in there. There you go, I've learned something new there. So, good little tip for you guys. If you're doing a pulpy juice, use a strainer. So there you go, there's your 3rd flavor. Once I get some other my ingredients together, I'll do the next flavors for you. Okay guys, so today's going to be the next round in the next flavors you gotta try for kombucha. So I'm going to try Mojito flavor. I've never done it, but I figure I want to try something that's sort of like alcoholic based without the alcohol. Today I got my little helper Vicky. I call her Vickysaurus Rex. This is my brother's niece, so she's going to help me out today. So what I'm going to get you to do, Vicky, you can take all the little pieces of mint here. You're just going to pick each leaf off and toss them in like that, okay? So we're going to use fresh picked mint from the garden, or my container on the deck, and I'm going to use 3 limes, and I'm going to use a little bit of maple syrup to sweeten it. They call for, I think, honey or sugar, but I'm just going to use maple syrup because it's much better for you, and I make it, so may as well use everything that I've been using. So I'll cut the lime in half here, and I'm going to juice them as well. So I guess it depends on how many bottles of kombucha you're going to be making, on how much liquid you want in it. I'm going to just kind of figure out the flavor as I go. So as she puts the mint in there, I'm going to juice the lime as well. So we're going to make it nice and flavorful. 1. And I'm using a little juicer, hand juicer for the lime, which just makes it a lot easier to get the juice out. And just a little side note today, I am using a beer bottle with a pop top. I've been finding lately that my GT bottles I've been using for quite a while now, the seals aren't sealing as well, and the carbonation isn't as good as they have been, so I'm going to try out some pop tops and see how well they work. Because there's nothing worse than getting a flat kombucha. It's kind of like drinking a soda. You want to have a nice carbonation to it. Yeah, I'll do 1 more bit of lime here. I think that's probably going to be enough juice for the ones we're doing here. And then as well, what you want to do, you want to muddle your mint with your lime juice. Do you know what muddling means? No? So basically what you want to do is you want to crush your mint leaves. You don't want to do too much, you just want to do enough just to bruise them to get the flavors extracted from your mint, so it gets into your lime juice and gives that nice lime flavor. So here we go, I'm just going to use my Vitamix thing here, just give it a little bit of crushing action. Whoops. So we'll get all that lime there, or all that mint there, Vicky. Get it all done up nicely. It smells nice and fresh. I just picked it 2 minutes ago here, so it's going to be super fresh and amazing. It's probably better if you use like a mortar or pestle to do your muddling with. Vicky's got the mint all finished up here, so I'm just going to muddle it together here quickly. And if you want, Vicky, you can grab a spoon from the cupboard there. We're going to add some maple syrup here.
Which cupboard?
Right there where your hands are. Yeah, there you go. Wow, it smells really nice with the mint coming up with the lime. Okay, we'll see how this works. So let's try putting like 4 of those into here with the maple syrup. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, give it a good stir up there. Okay, that should be good. Let's crush this a bit. Just gonna do a little bit more crushing in the mint just to extract a few more flavors here. Let's give it another good stir there. So now I'm just gonna give it a quick little taste just to see how it tastes.
I want to taste it.
Like, get a little taste there. Oh yeah, that tastes amazing. Wow, that's really good. What do you think? Do you think it's too sour, too sweet, or good? Good? Oh yeah. So what we're gonna do, and we're gonna have a clean spoon here. This might be tricky with the mint. I might have to stir the mint in, or put it in one by one. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of lime juice in each one here. I might need a bit more lime juice because I don't know if that's gonna be enough for all my containers. I'm gonna actually just try maybe 4 or 5, just so I have samples to make sure if it isn't as good as I think it's gonna be, then we're not wasting so much. Okay, there we go. So now we'll take some mint here. I don't like putting too much mint in each jar, just because the mint's super strong, so you don't want to overpower the mint flavor. So I'll put like 4 or 5 leaves in here. Okay, next one here. Oh. That'll be good. See how much. Just checking to see how much lime juice is in the bottom. I think there's quite a bit. That should give it some nice flavor. So when you're using things like mint or citrus, you want to go a little less with them because they're a bit more potent. So a little bit goes a long way. And we'll just do one more here. Strainer. There we go. Okay, and just a little bit more mint here. Okay, what I'll do, I'll finish this off, bottle up, and then the next video you see is me tasting it, trying out, seeing how it goes. Okay guys, so here we go. This is going to be the first tasting of the kombucha that I've made. So this one is the strawberry basil one. We're going to try it. I got my little friend here, Vicky, my brother's niece. She's going to help me out. So when you open your kombucha, sometimes you have this really big carbonation, so it's going to go everywhere. So always make sure you have a glass there, so if it does explode, you can just hold it over and open it slowly. But I've been finding lately the carbonation hasn't been as good as I prefer it. So we'll try it out, see how it goes. Actually, yep, there we go. This is actually pretty perfect carbonation. Look at that. Not too shabby, I must say. So there's 2 things you can do. You can just pour it in with your fruits and stuff in, or you can strain it out. I usually like to just drink it with it in there. So pour it in. This is Vicky's first time trying kombucha, so I'll give her a little bit, see if she likes it. I don't want to give her too much if she doesn't like it. So here we go, strawberry basil, let's check it out. And this has been in the fridge for quite a while, probably about a month, while I've been waiting to make these videos. What do you think? You like it? Yeah? Okay. Oh yeah, it's really good. Strawberry basil, there you go. Not too strong on the basil, more of the strawberry flavor. You just want a bit of the basil just to give it a little bit of that essence of basil in your kombucha. Vicky, you need some more? Do you want more? Look at that. One happy customer, there you go. So I won't be able to do all my tastings today because that's a lot of kombucha to drink in one day. So hopefully tomorrow I'll make my next video on the next flavor I did. So until then, see you then. Okay, so here we go, the next flavor. I think this was the carrot, apple, ginger. So I'll be surprised when I open it, so we'll see. And this one I think is carbonated a little bit too. These have been sitting in the fridge for probably almost a month now. It's been long enough it's grown its own SCOBY. So not carbonated too much, but carbonated just enough. So that's a nice little color. A little bit more orange than you would get from just a regular kombucha. Actually, I think it's the carrot apple ginger one. And it's I don't think I put very much ginger in this one, so it's not 100% ginger, but it's really nice. So there we go. Once we get the next one open, we'll film the next segment. Okay guys, so the next flavor is raspberry vanilla. So raspberry has been my favorite flavor so far that I've made the past few years. I find that the flavor of the raspberries really infuses really nicely into the kombucha, and it's really amazing. And I added a bit of vanilla this year just to try it out, and wow, so good. I've been using a whole, or not a whole vanilla bean, but just like a sliver, maybe like quarter of an inch of a vanilla bean, putting it in. The flavors are amazing. You may notice I've got another camera here. I got a new camera, so I'm going to try filming some different angles with my videos and make them a little funky. So here we go. Let's open it up and try it out. This one's got a little bit of carbonation going on here. This is perfect carbonation today. There we go. Let's pour it in. So that's what a good, perfect kombucha should be like when you pour it. Nice head like a beer, and nice carbonation. Here we go. Yeah, that's really good. And I leave the whole fruits in there too, so I've got a bit of raspberry in there I was chewing down. Wow, this flavor is amazing. So the raspberry's got a nice subtle flavor, and then you get the bit of vanilla as an aftertaste. And it just coats your mouth, the vanilla bean. It's so good, so good. So there you go guys, there's the next one. And I think I've got one more to go. So I'll film that another day after I finish this. Like I said, I don't like drinking too much kombucha in one day, it's too much for me. But there you go. Until with the next one, we'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, here it is. It's been a long haul, but here's the last flavor you gotta try, the Mojito. The mint lime with a bit of maple syrup. So I've already tried some before, but I'm gonna do one here for the camera and see how it goes. So this one's got a little bit of carbonation slowly coming up as well. Not as much as the other ones, but I just made this one last week, so that's kind of expected. So here we go. Oh, that's really nice. So that's like a perfect blend of lime and mint, and a little bit of sweetness. So with this one, I think the sweetness is a bit too much, so I probably cut back on the amount of sweetener I put in there. For this one I did the maple syrup. And the mint is pretty good. You don't want too much mint in your flavorings. I find if you put too much mint, it's really overpowering. And then it's just like, blah, just kind of almost bitter in a sense. So yeah, just if you're making this flavor, just be careful on how much mint you put in, and how much sweetener, and just go by your own taste. But there we go guys. 5 flavors of kombucha you gotta try. So thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the whole video. I know it was a bit of a long haul, but we're done. So thanks for watching. Don't forget guys, share my videos around. Hit the subscribe button. Give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit the little bell button so you get all the notifications of my newest and videos that I will be uploading. Have a great day guys. See you later.